Could I invite Paula Smith, Littleton Mount Herbert Community Board? Oh.
She don't let me. I'll grab her.
Oh, sorry. We're running ahead of time. Is Pam here? No? You know, she was here. She just popped out. Here she is, Paula.
Yeah, exactly. They don't trust me.
Sorry, Paula.
You're going to call me Castro? I've got her at night. I've got her daughter staying. Sure.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry about that, Paula. I actually deliberately waited till I saw you slip out of the room and then called you to the table.
We know.
Are we running ahead, are we?
Yeah, but Mike Mora hasn't arrived, so he's just...
We were waiting for two other community board members who are probably coming in, and I wouldn't like them to come all this way, find a park and then miss it.
They're on the number 28.
No, they're not. They could be. We might just have to charge you.
We still use public transport.
How far ahead are we?
Shall I just...
I was going to say.
No, so they weren't expecting to be on until 11:30. Is morning tea there?
We're not having morning tea.
We're not having morning tea.
But we could have a break if you want to.
I mean, we are ahead of time, although we haven't had Mike Mora. No, but that's because we started late. We started at 10, so... Is
But if
Cam
board
far
members
away?
are coming specifically in to be
Eh?
here,
Down scroll. I'll use down
Is
scroll.
Mike far away?
I'm probably better.
yeah, great.
Can somebody contact him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it's... You could present it. You could present it instead.
Oh, thank you.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Paula.
Oh,
Right.
someone's just...
Paula, far away.
Kia ora tātou. Tuaka ki te mihi atu kia koutou e huhu mai nei tēnei ahiai, no reira tēnā no tātou katoa. Ko tēnei te mihi atu kia koutou nā uri o tahu pōteki no reira ngai tahu whānui, tēnā koutou, nā mātā waka, nā tau I hoki no reira okuranga tira, tēnā koutou, kia ora tātou. I guess one of those things that we just want to acknowledge is that we may well be the only elected group in the town that actually probably begin our huis with a mihi and with a karakia for any other reason other than it's been a tradition and a convention within our particular community board. So we thought we'd just do that also by starting off and acknowledging the mana of the board, but also your relationship with mana whenua and with all of us in our various journeys to get here. So without further ado, I'd like to hand over to our board chair to start us off.
Kia ora. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Morena, Your Worship, and Christchurch City Councillors. Thank you for this opportunity to talk to you all about your draft annual plan and to advise you about how your decisions affect the community we represent. I would like to introduce the elected members of the Littleton Mount Herbert Community Board. I hope you know me, Paula Smith, by now. Our Deputy Chair here is Jane Broughton. Jane is a former journalist with a background in PR and marketing, and a marketing consultant, and is a business owner on Banks Peninsula. Here is Anne Jolliffe. Anne has a wealth of experience in local government, both as a councillor and community board representative, and is our institutional memory. She's had 30 years as an elected member. There's Adrian Tapatu. Adrian lived in Diamond Harbour for 25 years, has had a governance role locally and nationally, works internationally in public health. And here is Christine Wilson, manager of Littleton's Community House and our local youth group, and she's the only woman in the world to have 2 brothers and 2 sons who were All Blacks. And our sixth member, of course, is Andrew Turner, and I'd like to clarify, he had no part in the preparation of this submission.
No, but he's advocated for this, I think.
Littleton Mount Herbert Community Board is unanimous in its support for the head-to-head walkway because we all know it has strong community support. Nearly everyone thinks it's a good idea, and I think that's a good comment, isn't it? We acknowledge the difficult task you have budgeting for the year ahead with everything that has happened and in this climate of great uncertainty. We congratulate you on the plan you have drafted, which we generally agree with. We would like to be able to support it in full, but there is one thing we do not agree with, something which is very important to our community. We do not agree with your proposal to amend the 3-year plan and defer funding for the development of the head-to-head walkway. The head-to-head walkway has been a long time coming. I think attached to the submission, was there a timeline that showed, was that attached to your submission? If it wasn't, I have a copy here that I would like circulated. No, timeline. Anyway, the timeline illustrates how long successive Littleton Mount Herbert community boards have been trying to get this project off the ground. When a significant sum of money was included in the 3-year plan by the previous council, we thought it would finally happen. Late last year, the board set up a head-to-head working party made up of representatives of key community organisations to work with staff and board members on this project. In just a few months, real progress has been made, and we were looking forward to finally seeing the first sections of the walkway up and running later this year. So it was with dismay we learned that you proposed to defer the funding. We did not understand the reason given on page 95. Staff have done a lot of detailed work costing the 3 existing sections of track to bring them up to an appropriate standard. We have agreed on a logo and have capital endowment funding to prepare a brochure. We were at a point where the whole thing was poised to begin rolling out, and we feel like the rug has been pulled out from underneath us. That's not the head-to-head walkway, Adrian.
No, that's the view from the Starship Enterprise of the head-to-head walkway.
Thank you for that. And what we would really like you to understand is that a lot of the work costed for the head-to-head walkway is actually work which needs to be done by the council anyway. Much of it has been identified in various council plans for coastal reserves around the harbour, including the recently approved Stoddart Point Management Plan. We ask you to reconsider. Please find a way to avoid deferring funding for the head-to-head walkway. And now Jane and Adrian will tell you why.
My 11-year-old daughter recently announced that it was pretty cool how she lives 500 metres up the inside of an extinct volcano, takes a boat across the volcano's floor, drives in a bus through its outer edge, and then goes to school on the outer spur. We live on Mount Herbert. She takes the Black Cat ferry, then the bus through the tunnel, and goes to school in Heathcote Valley. She's right. That's pretty cool. We have a unique opportunity with the head-to-head walkway to create a tourism venture that will be both economically positive and enhance this harbour and our city. Whether you go to Wellington, Auckland, London, Sydney, Seattle, I could go through the alphabet and name every city in the world that has any water, they maximise it. The Thames Walkway in London in recent years has transformed the areas of Butler's Wharf, the likes of Wapping, that were once pretty industrial areas and made them hip, vibrant, happening and lively. Close to home, the Otago Rail Trail has brought huge economic benefit to Clyde, the Shatter Creek, Ophir, and a whole lot of other towns along the way. Martin Snedden recently stated in his role with the New Zealand Tourism Board that it was an excellent example of what tourists come to New Zealand looking for. And look what we've got, 15 minutes on the bus, and we can offer something that could be equally as unique. And the foundation's there. And hey, look, we all know how much foundations cost to build in this city. We've got the volcanic area just waiting as the foundation for us to build this track. So why do we wait? People like, I'm convinced that tourists come to Christchurch and that those who grew up here, like myself, return not predominantly for the big city's lights and the big city life. I think they come and that we return to experience the quintessential Kiwi great outdoors. Many of us who return have actually come back from cities like London, Sydney. We're escaping that way of life. So why not build on this great outdoor recreational asset that we have sitting there? Further north, the Able Tasman Walkway is another great example of how the economic benefit to smaller towns. Look at Motueka, Tākaka. Why can't we do the same for Littleton, Governor's Bay, Diamond Harbour? We've got so many creative, artistic people who could hire kayaks out, bed and breakfast opportunities. Living Springs is sitting there. Autumn Bradley Park is sitting there. Just yesterday, the Canterbury Community Trust gave $400,000 in funding to Autumn Bradley Park from their Social Enterprise Fund. So it's only going to get even better. Historically, Quail Island, Rapapa Island, the volcanic history, the marae at Rapaki, the whaling station at Little Port Cooper. When was the last time you all visited these places? On Sunday night, Pūrao locals Anna and John Mahey appeared with their Pig in a Day workshop run at Autumn Bradley Park on the Top Twins Top Country program. On Monday morning, Anna had 150 bookings from not only across New Zealand, but from Australia to do that $180 a head course. They want to come. They want to buy a slice of the peninsula lifestyle that we live. I can just see the Pūrao Clubhouse kids making and selling homemade lemonade to walkers walking along the beach. When I drive home tonight and reach the top of Dyer's Pass, I'll still be blown away by the vista. And tomorrow, when I'm cooking in my cafe at Diamond Harbour, I can bet your bottom dollar that at least one tourist will say to me, "Wow, how can I experience more of this place?" So let's give them the head-to-head walkway. And while we're at it, let's see the economic benefits that will come in return. So please, give us the funding back.
Okay, right, Raf and then Jimmy.
Hang on, we
have
haven't finished yet.
Sorry, how
There's
much?
more, but wait.
We've got another 4 minutes to go.
4 minutes?
Four
I've got
minutes,
time for questions. Okay.
But 4 minutes includes questions, so.
Yeah.
Oh, then I'll be very brief. I'll just show people. I have been told that I suck oxygen from the room when I start talking, so we'll just go very, very quickly. Look, you know, we don't have to convince you about the need for this. The walkway's been waiting 80 million years. Another two political terms won't matter, but it will matter to us and now, so in the moment. I was watching, as Councillor Cotter was looking up there, at probably one of your places on the peninsula as well. Councillor Goff's seen there there quite a lot. I know we've all got some kind of relationship with it. It's the geophysical and actually the metaphysical and the actual birthplace of Canterbury. It's where people come to. I was recently at a conference in New York and I was wearing Canterbury t-shirts. People didn't come up and say hello. When I wore Littleton Records company t-shirt, people came over and had a conversation with it. So Canterbury likes to acknowledge that its knowledge of historical literacy. The historical literacy of this community actually starts there, ends there, and all roads lead back to that particular place. Of the 19 runaka that are Ngāi Tahu Whānui, 8 of them are on the peninsula. 3 of them are in our region, particularly. 2 of them support the idea of this. So the rationale around it is not so much about whether we should. We know it should, and you know it should, and that's really important. It's really about prioritising, and we feel that it's the right thing to do given that the importance of this. That's the brevity of my particular conversation.
Oh, you've sucked the air out of my lungs because I've never heard you be so brief. But anyway, questions.
Right, Raf.
Yeah, thanks, Adrian. I can still breathe. I don't think anyone needs to be convinced that this is a great idea. That the issue, and I think this goes back to the cycling one, unfortunately they didn't leave enough time for questions, is that this is not particularly a budgetary issue, it's an implementation issue. So, I mean, this is a question to staff, and we've asked it many times. The same with the cycleways. What is the hold-up in terms of actually doing this? It's certainly not a budgetary issue, so I just want to make that clear.
My understanding that when you were briefed was that Terry Howe said that it wasn't ready to go. We query that. We don't believe that's true. We think it is.
Yeah, so that's what we need to drill down on with staff. Jimmy?
Okay, thank you. Okay, regarding the priority, yes, I recognize this very, very important project based on the presentation, but I'm concerned to prioritize because based on the staff recommendation here is default 1 year only to align with overall work program. But can you please tell me if this funding budget 294K transfer to the repair the damaged pump station or porthole or underground sewage system, water pipe, do you think which one is more high priority? Thank you.
Repairing the damage of the soul of Christchurch people outside of the city.
Yep.
It's about repairing the damage of the soul of other people, in Christchurch. It gives another option for them by creating this walkway and allowing us to just kind of get on and enjoy it.
And this is a recovery issue because so many other tracks around our communities are closed because of storm. Well, there's a whole lot more closed because of storm damage, but because of the earthquake. And there's a real need for recreation opportunities, not just for our local people, but for Christchurch City as a whole.
Okay, thank you.
And I don't want to see any more people at Northlands Mall, tourists, asking what can they do. I mean, when our tourists are going to the malls to spend the day hanging out.
I send them to the Condon pool.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of support around the table, and so what it's going to drill down to is how we get this inside the frame. I mean, as Raf's highlighted, this is more about capacity than money. And if there's a way that we can broker some sort of support, so maybe I'll just ask you the same question I've asked others: is there a volunteer effort out there that wants to be part of building the head-to-head?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Including the farming community and the local volunteer organisations.
And do you have any trouble with red tape for volunteers?
No, they're really law-abiding citizens.
No. But I mean,
No, we do it Peninsula style.
What we've been told is that sometimes some of the red tape that we put around health and safety and stuff like that actually disables volunteers from making the contribution that they would otherwise make. Do we need to break down some barriers is the question.
If you could, that'd be great. I mean, I'm not going to say no.
Our experience with the reserve management committees, with organisations that are taking on repair of the Church Bay Wharf, I think there's a group helping with that, is that there are ways around these things, and staff seem to be able to sort it out.
Great.
Yeah.
There's also, I mean, there's a big group of people, I mean, particularly in the Diamond Harbour area, of companies where they're based there, like Johnson's, for example, is one. There's a lot of Fulton Hogan. There's a lot of really good knowledge that is used anyway that I'm sure we could pull teams together to do some of the work.
That's great. Well, look, thank you very much for your time. It's much appreciated, and it's great to have a submission with such a strong presentation and great photographs as well. So very much appreciated. Thank you.